Hello everyone, Tiniestofchibis here, and we're back with Genshin Impact. Um, where was I? Oh yes. So essentially, like he goes around collecting people like freaking, you know, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or whatever. And sorry, I gotta do my logins, man. You know. So, do I have to be on the side? All right. Um. So, um, what happens? He collects all the people he needs, um, or he can get. He goes and proves who he is and stuff. Then he goes, fighting whatever he needs to fight so that he can diminish, like, the current power. Because, again, he's trying to do, an up, not, is it an uprising? Huh. Ordered a knife from Monster came, drew their face for people in the last minute to him. Okay. How did you know? That's cute. Sorry, I'll be before I take your order. Let me see. Moment. What was I doing again? Um. So Kia, my boy, is going around and asking people for stuff. No, I was gonna start with Terry because I don't have anything for him, do I? Where was I on my thought process? I like how my brain is dying and I'm just like, here, stupid. You know? Um. So, essentially he does that. Goes, fights his uncle, wins, and retakes hold of the clan. Um, and then brings it to glory and stuff. Um, so, um, what happens, though, is that and hold on. Um, got a test about the Queen's. Oh man, I think the freshman. Here's my cheat sheet for any questions about the trial she held. The sentence for even the smallest offense, I'll go with off with your head. Um, it was a line from. Sorry, I was reading what Terry was saying for his little story. Terry's really cool. I really like him. He's cool. Though I um no, but I think I really love Deuce. Deuce is like my favorite so far. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the perfect of like the Maleficent dorm. I really love him, but like I really haven't really got to really interact with him. And but the ones I've because the ones I've interacted the most with is um Deuce and a character named Ace. Though one of my best cards happens to be Carter for some reason. Though Deuce is actually a pretty good and strong card too. No, Deuce was my first, my first strongest card. And I'm kind of glad, in a way, because was my first strong card, and just by the way the game is, I've come to really love Deuce. His full name is like Deuce Spades. And if you haven't guessed from his name, like his dorm is what's her name? The Queen of Hearts dorm. So that's pretty fun. And another thing that I like. Oh, I almost fell off. I looked away for like a second and I almost killed myself. Anyway, brain. Work. So yeah. Like, I do kind of want to do it where at the very end, of the story, or closer to the end, Yuna and Lorenzo, they go back to her home country because, she wants to officially pass over the reins to her son, because she wants to make sure, that those who were doubted, his claims that, he was her son will be shushed. And so she goes. Am I at the right one? Yeah. I'm trying to go into the pavilion. She goes. Her, Lorenzo, and her two youngest go to her home. Like, once what was her home before she had to leave. And, some of the older, mind you, because of, her connection with the dragon and whatnot, because they can no longer, they're not able to, separate from each other. They have to be one. So, because of that, she has blonde hair and, green eyes. But, it isn't a complete necessity for her to be connected anymore after a while. So, some people were is that really, some people, a lot of them were the older ones were kind of is it possible? She looks exactly like, because looks a lot like her mother. So they were is it possible? She kind of looks like her mother, but there was some doubt, because it was I see the resemblance, a lot. You know what I'm saying? But when when she gets there, she's sitting at the head of the table, because the actual head is supposed to sit at the head of the table, but Yuna's sitting there, and the family sits off to the sides, but because technically she's still technically the head, even though her son, just back the Queen of Hearts and all, but not sure a person would be able to surrender her. Knowing my hands on the line would drive me to hide even the smallest mistakes. And if that came to light, it'll be even a bigger issue. Happens all this time. You never know, maybe most of the Carja soldiers were in the same boat. Sorry, I was reading what Terry says. But I don't want to leave you guys like, why is she quiet? So I don't have like 15. Anyway, so she's sitting at the head of the table because again, her son might have did all the fighting or shenanigans, but by law, or not by law, but essentially clan rules and shenanigans until she officially does like this kind of little rite. She's still technically the head, and because she did not die even when her brother was in charge, she was still technically the head. By all technical terms, she is still technically the head of the clan. Just because she wasn't there, she's still like in charge. You know, it's essentially like he was more like what's the word? I guess temp in charge, because she wasn't around. But he's still not and wasn't acknowledged. But Yuna goes there with all the current heads that have not been killed, because those who were pro trying to kill that'll be 5 million more. What? Well, I guess I just then. Sorry, I was why is my brain dying? Anyway, so what happens is that, you know, because the son killed all the ones that tried to kill his mother, or the dragon, either way, all the old ones had to die. But those that were against it or weren't in on the plan of doing so were spared. So when Yuna returns, some of them were kind of like, is it really her? I'm not too sure, blah 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 blah. And so she goes in and like summons the dragon out, which gives her back her normal hair and eye color, and like takes away like, because mind you, like what also kind of prevented him from realizing it was that again she still has scales and stuff like that. So like she looks, like an older version of, or about, I think at this point she would be what? Okay. Should be like in her 40s? 50s? Because if her kid is like 20. But she would have to, she'd probably be in her 50s because her late 40s or early 50s. Sorry. Like trying to figure out ages is weird because I always have this thing when I'm comparing ages between things. I always compare it to my own family. And so there's this weird wonkiness because in my family, like, a lot of people have kids like, early 20s to like late teens. So like from like 15 to 25, I would say. It's probably the range in my family. Which, I mean, 25 is, no, first kid would be 15 to like, what, 21, 22? Around that range. Because I think my sister had a kid, my first niece was born when what was it? Like, my sister was already pretty old. She was how old was she? She was 22 when my niece was born. So yeah, that's pretty old. Like, for my family to have your first kid. But then again, I'm like an old freaking spinster over here. So, I'll break the new record of being old when I find a boyfriend. So, as you can guess, my kind of range monitor shenanigans is kind of different than most people. Can't remember which one I was. Oh well. Whew, shit, that's cold. Like, I just got like a chill up my spine, and it's like one of those feelings where, like, the fudge, where you can feel like the cold or chill in your arms, and you're like, ugh, I hate that. Where was I in my thought process? Oh yes. I'll probably put that picture up. Like, if you guys pay attention to my Twitter, I'll probably have that up. So, I'm eating and I'm thinking. Where was I in my thought? Oh yes. So anyway, essentially shows that, that she's like, whatever, and she essentially says, I'm here to officially, for training means to be. So I'm here to officially give the title, or the next head, to my son. And I expect you all to respect him as you would myself, my father, his father, and so forth, for the beneficial of the clan to continue onward. And it's like, the As it's all the same. Does it matter which one I click? No, it doesn't. So, who should I click? Sorry, I'm going through like everybody's shenanigans right now. I wonder if I should pick the character that is. Well, I don't care for. Ooh! This child looks adorable. But I don't use anything with him in it. Blah. Sorry, I'm going through my stuff, and I probably shouldn't, but I don't care. Anyway. So, yeah, so she essentially gives him the, she essentially does, like, the ritual or whatever, they're all, and he takes over, and then she gives him the weapon officially, blah, blah, blah. And with that, she stands up, and she switches, like, because there was a spot, like, left over, or left open, for her to sit. And she goes to that spot, and sits down. Because while she isn't at the head of the table anymore, she's sitting in a spot where, you know, she's, like, more like, I guess, an advisor or whatever, and she's, like, she should, like, in a respectable area. And she goes, sits down, and then her son gets up and sits there, and, you know, he addresses everybody, and he's all like, you know, like, we're gonna make the clan good, blah, 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 blah. And it's all good. And so, they do that. And then, you know, that would pretty much be the end of the thing. Unless I could figure out if I wanted to do something a third one. But I haven't really thought of anything that I would want to do, you know? So, it would essentially be the end of the story where, you know, though, Yuna does go back and talk to her brother, who's being held up in the like in a prison cell, in the basement, or wherever they would put him. And she's like, you know, she talks to him for a bit. And she says how she misses him. And though she's still kind of upset of the whole, of what happened, she also mentions, you know, she knows he wasn't, you know, he was numb to everything. Because he wasn't, you know, wearing his necklace like he should have been wearing his necklace. So she knows, like, he probably fully wasn't aware of what he was doing. Or even if it, I mean, she's essentially trying to give him an excuse to say, because, like, she's still upset by it. But she doesn't want to be mad at him. Because he is her brother. He's essentially, you know, the only connection to her parents that she has left. Because both her parents are dead. Because, like, her mother died when she was little. Essentially, you know. And her father died. And then, you know, like, that's when they started plotting against her. Like around the death, like, after her father died. So she pretty much has no connection to her parents except for her older brother. And so she wants to, you know, continue to have that connection to them because she loves her parents. And she still loves her brother because he's her brother. And before he tried to kill her, they got along well. Or at least, she hoped so. And she felt they got along well. Now, I am debating on something. I don't think I should put it in there. Part of me kind of does want to put it in there. Because then it kind of gets to the whole of why it would make sense to why he didn't like wearing the necklace. And, it kind of gives like this, you know, thing where you're just like, oh dear Lord. But I'm like, I don't know if I should. And I don't want to talk about it because, it's a, it's a thing. I mean, sure, like, it's like, I mean, it's a thing that happens in animes and stuff. And then you're like, oh dear Lord. And it's like completely one-sided, so. And I'm like, I don't even know why I thought of it. I don't know. Anyway. So it was just like it was just like a thing. And so I was like, I don't know.
All of it, whatever it is. What exactly is it? I didn't quite catch your request.
Oh, I remember this one. This was stupid. So, essentially, yeah, you find out some stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I should or shouldn't. But yeah. So, when you do find out, like, it's like, oh, it makes sense of why, But at the same time, it's like, why then? So it's kind of like this weird shenanigans things. I was like, wow. Um, um, so, what ends up happening, so, so that shenanigans happens. And, but, anyway, so they talk for a little bit. And, the brother is like, I'm glad that I'm glad you're happy, Given, what happened, and, I'm sorry, and I know I have no right to talk. All I can do is be grateful that you're alive still. And that, you're happy. And it's like, huh, interesting. Sorry. Okay. I guess I have to. Huh. Sorry, I'm like. It says one of my cards is at max thingamabobby, so I have to switch him out. So I'm like, okay. I can't exactly use him anymore. So that means I gotta switch the card. Which means I have to go through my cards and figure out which one I want to give. And I'm like, why? Ooh. Oof. I guess so. Anyway. So yeah, they talk, blah blah blah. And, and she tells him a little bit about her husband. Because they end up getting into the conversation of family and blah blah blah. You know. She tells him, she met him overseas. Um, and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And it's nice. They get to talk. And it's nice to get to talk to people you haven't talked in a while. So, eventually, it pretty much ends. Where she tells him, I'm glad I got to see you. Even if this is gonna be our last time we'll ever see each other again. I'm just glad I got to talk to you one more time. And then she leaves. And it actually is the last time she'll see him. Because, given the actions that he did, it has been decided that he should be executed. And thus, executed he shall be. Where is it? There you are. Hold up. How high are you going? Can you not? Okay, so I'm trying to predict it. Okay, so I was slightly off. Where's the other ones? Okay, so here's the stick. There's the balloon. Where are you going? Okay, so it essentially stays in the same spot. Where's the third one? There it is. All up in the sky. There we go. So
The chest is like unwrapping a gift.
dude, what's in here? That's not what I want. Boop.
By royal decree.
What's the hurry?
Boop. Goodbye. Now where is the dang little jingly thing? Jingle, 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 jangle, jingle. Hello. Jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle. Is it here? There's a chest. There's food.
Wonderful.
Jingle, 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 jingle. Boop. Anyway. Can I not? Alright. Nope. Stop! Noelle! Stop it!
Dodge this.
Oz, reveal thyself. Leave it all to me.
I like how my brain died. So yeah, essentially the brother's gonna get killed. He's going to be killed for his transactions. And, you know, that's the end of that. But it's okay. In the end, do 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 do
I'll catch up.
do 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 do. Anyway, so that's that. Well, but yeah, so the brother is killed, you know, in retaliation for all the shenanigans he's done. Is this it? Oop. So yeah, that's that. And you know, that would be the essentially the actual, like around the end. Unless it's like, oh, you know, we get to watch him put everything back together and stuff, but I don't know, I doubt that. So, yep. And then, so yeah, that would be it. That would be the end of everything. Just a man fixing his things. Oh, and the adopted great. Oh, I put like big sister because but I'm gonna put granny. To eat more, you're still growing. Oh, I thought she was gonna get mad because she called her granny or something. I'm kind of disappointed. Like, I'm like, man, I was hoping she would be like, I'm not an old lady or some shit like that, but no, apparently not. Comforting. Ow. Did I scratch myself? I don't. The queen seems scary in class, but there's cute. I don't know about her. Like when there was a child lost in the castle, she played crochet with her. Big great queen still makes time for the little people. Isn't that the sweetest? Essentially, you know, playing crochet with Alice. I don't know. What was that? Oh yes. So, yeah, that's essentially like the end of the story that I wanted to write. And there would be a lot of stuff I would add to course. However, um, like trying to remember how I've done some of those quests because I have a shit ton of quests. But whatever. Okay, so I have to do this last one. Wait, is this where you're supposed to go? That doesn't seem right. Complete exploring population to unlock. Huh. Alrighty. Well, it looks like I just realized that, you know, I have to end this episode. But, yeah. That's essentially the end of it. So, we'll go talk to Nantucket in a minute. But, yeah, for now, Tiniestofchibis is, signing out.